Have you ever just stopped for a moment in an airport and felt it? It's like the air is thick with prayers. No one's kneeling, nobody's singing hymns, but you can almost hear these trembling whispers. Please don't go. Please land safe. And please, please come back soon. These places, they're the cathedrals of our modern age. Not built of stone, but of departures and arrivals. And it's in these spaces that we pay one of love's most brutal fees. Just think about it for a second. Terminals from Lagos to JFK, from Heathrow to Dubai. They've heard more honest confessions than any altar. They've witnessed more desperate vows than any courthouse. Because it's here that time and space become these sharp, tangible things that just cut right into us. It's here we finally understand the true, staggering cost of connection. And you see it everywhere, don't you? A kid, maybe 10 years old, at Murtala Muhammad Airport in Lagos, hugging his father so tight you think he might just stop breathing. And the father whispers, "I'll be back soon." But the boy asks, "When is soon?" And that silence, that lack of an answer, well, that's the first down payment. Or you see the lovers, their hands are locked together at an immigration line, and they're just clinging on until a pair of uniformed hands prise them apart. There's this frantic, desperate energy to it, a kind of finality. It's a scene that plays out everywhere, a silent prayer against all the miles that are about to come pouring in between them. And then, the absence sets in. You see the physical act of leaving? That's just the start. The real cost starts to add up in all those quiet moments later. The call that goes to voicemail, the WhatsApp reply that takes just a little too long, a delay that stretches and sours into betrayal. This is where the debt of distance really starts to pile up. When you look at it like that, it really does start to feel like some kind of economy, right? A whole system where every single goodbye is a transaction, and every reunion has its own brutal exchange rate. And the currency we're all forced to use is distance. Love up close, it's cheap. I mean, you can waste it, you can pick a fight, you can slam a door, and you know you can probably fix it all over dinner. It always gives you another chance. But love at a distance? Oh, that's expensive. Every moment costs something. A missed birthday isn't just a mistake. It feels like this profound, unbearable failure. A silence isn't just a pause. It accrues like interest. The longer it goes on, the harder it is to ever pay it off. So this is the crucial point, right here on this hidden ledger of costs. A father in London sends money home to his family in Lagos. But the real payment, the real currency, is the time that's stolen from his children's lives. A couple between Toronto and Accra learns that holidays just are never quite the same again. This is the fine print of loving someone across borders. And just like any economy, this one has its own unbreakable rules. This isn't just a metaphor for the cost. It's a complete system with its own currencies and, a pretty unforgiving market logic. But here's a fascinating twist. We've talked about all the costs, all the debt, but could paying this price, could enduring this hardship actually make a relationship stronger? Is it possible that the struggle itself somehow creates a different kind of value? Well, some research points to this thing called idealization. See, because long-distance partners have such limited, precious time to connect, they often just cut out the small talk. The communication becomes more deliberate, way more focused on deep personal stuff. And this can lead them to see their partner in this more positive, almost idealized light. And that's tied to another idea, behavioral adaptation. Couples, whether they know it or not, change how they communicate to make up for not being there in person. They share more of their inner world, their feelings, their thoughts, their fears, all to maintain that feeling of closeness. They're actively investing more emotional capital. And the research reveals this stunning paradox. It turns out that the more constrained the communication, like say just over text, the harder people work to connect. They adapt by sharing more of themselves, which can actually lead to a stronger feeling of intimacy. It's almost like the obstacle itself forces you to put in more effort. But this emotional accounting has another side to it. Let's talk about the psychological toll this debt takes and how we even try to cope with it. We're always told that technology has basically solved the problem of distance, right? That FaceTime and Zoom and WhatsApp have just made the miles disappear. But this quote, it just gets right to the heart of it. Technology is an amazing tool, but what it offers is really an illusion of closeness. And here's the biological reason why. Our bodies are literally wired for physical connection. Hormones like oxytocin, the so-called cuddle hormone, they get released through touch. They're essential for bonding, for trust. A video call, it doesn't matter how high the resolution is, it just can't replicate the feeling of holding someone's hand. So, in this economy, technology offers us counterfeit coins. The screen, it gives you the face, but not the presence. The call gives you a voice, but not the touch. An emoji can give you the outline of an emotion, but it can never, ever carry its true weight. Love, as it turns out, does not run on Wi-Fi. So we just have to accept that technology, for all of its wonders, is a flawed currency. It can't truly pay off the debt that distance creates. Which brings us to a really profound way to reframe all this pain. If distance is the currency, then what is the grief we feel? An author named John Pavlovitz put it perfectly. Grief is the tax on loving people. It's the inevitable price you pay for being loved well. The pain isn't a sign that something is wrong. No, it's confirmation that something was deeply, deeply right. The severity of the emptiness you feel right now is a direct measure of the richness you experienced before. In this emotional economy, your tears, they are a tribute to the value of that connection. So how do we balance the books? How do we weigh this immeasurable treasure of loving someone against the absolutely crushing debt of their absence? In the end, it was never really about the geography, was it? It was about how much of yourself you are willing to lose just to keep someone else close. So the final question is a deeply personal one. When you look at your own life, at your own connections, what is the price you are willing to pay?